Social media makes it so easy for us to see what people all over the world are doing at all times. The glitz, the glamour, and what we should aspire to do or be. Even our friends, our family, and our peers, they show us and give us models of what we should aspire to do, of what we should aspire for, of what our goals should look like. But what do you want to do? When's the last time you asked yourself what you wanted? This is a question I found myself asking myself a lot of times. By the way, I'm Melissa the Divine. I make content on this channel about living your truth, loving your life, and finding your purpose. If that sounds like something you're interested in, you might as well go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Turn on my post notifications so you don't miss another upload. I personally have struggled with this question. What do I want? What dreams are like personal to me? What do I want to go after? And it's something that I often struggle with because I'm constantly being told what I should want to do, what I should want to go after. A lot of people ask, what do you want to do? But they expect it to fall into a parameter of certain things. I graduated college recently. Everyone and their mother asked me, so what do you want to do now? I had a textbook script answer of, something that fell within the limitations of what I knew people wanted to hear. But in reality, my answer was, I want to go follow my actual dreams now. I want to go make content. I want to go put myself out there. I want to uplift and inspire people in different ways via the internet, a medium that I know is really useful for people. I went to school for criminal justice with a minor in law, justice, and public policy. But now I currently work in marketing. The reason for that is that I wanted to be able to follow my dreams. Going to school, going to college, getting a degree in general wasn't always my dream. Like, my dream was always a career in entertainment ever since I was a young girl. I can think of all my dreams on like one hand. At one point I wanted to be a veterinarian. That was my only like practical dream. And I remember that just came from me loving animals and me hearing that a veterinarian was a job. You know what I mean? That's how I came with that connection. But as I started to love music, which became like my second love, I realized, oh my gosh, I want to be like a pop star. This is when I was obsessed with Taylor Swift. I really wanted to be a pop star. I really wanted to be like a singer on stage. This dream felt really authentic to me because I would be in my room and I would really imagine this world where I was that. And it felt really real. It felt really like, this is my calling. This is what I should want to go after when I was younger, but it was never cultivated. It was never encouraged because it was not a practical dream. It wasn't something that fit the certain mold that people expected from me. Now, like I said, I got my bachelor's in criminal justice, and everyone asked me, okay, so now what? And they're expecting me to say I'm going to law school, or I'm going to go find a law firm to work for, or I'm going to go find a courthouse to work in. When I tell them, oh yeah, I'm actually working in marketing and kind of seeing where it's going, they're like, what? That, you kind of see that they're like, that doesn't make sense, but okay, cool. At least you're doing something. You know what I mean? And it's really interesting because, again, me going to school, that wasn't my dream. I was chasing my parents' dream that they told me, this is what you should do. Go to school, get your education. This is your best bet. I took their advice, as I will, and I know that their advice came from the most loving and supportive place. They just wanted to see me win. But it wasn't my dream. It wasn't my passion. It wasn't my goal that I was pursuing. It was someone else's. And I ran into many difficulties actually during school when I wasn't putting my best foot forward because it wasn't for me. Like, it wasn't my idea. It wasn't what I wanted to do. And I eventually had to buckle down and just say, okay, well, I'm doing it, so I at least have to put my best foot forward, So there's definitely a balance that you have to create between chasing your dreams and also being practical at the same time. I think there really is a balance. But I think it's really important to sift through what society, your peers, your family, your parents have told you should do and what you actually want to do in your heart. I think it's so important to decipher that because I think it can show you a lot of areas where you might be feeling frustrated. It might give you a lot of answers as to why you might be frustrated or unfulfilled in your life, is that you're not following your dreams, you're following someone else's. It's something someone told you should want to do and you started doing it. And now you're probably not happy because it has no true deep meaning for you. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, I chose to follow my dreams now. Now I'm done with school. I followed other people's dreams for a while. It made sense, but now I'm at the point where I can decide, where I can make the decision for myself. And I'm like, okay, actually, I'm going to choose a marketing job that allows me to be able to work on my content, work on the passions I've always had in my life, where I know my job is going to kind of blend and mesh with those things very well. Criminal justice was a personal passion, by the way, but I just mean kind of following that cookie cutter path to a career that's not my dream. That was never my dream or my plan or my passion. That was other people telling me what I should do. I've always felt kind of like a rebel, you could say. And at times I've been a rebel without a cause. At times I've been someone who just wanted to go against the grain just to do it. But that came from me taking on way too much of what society was telling me to do and not listening enough to my own voice and what I actually desired. So today I'm really just gonna be breaking down, are you chasing your dreams or are you chasing someone else's? How you can figure out if you're doing it and what you can do to stop it and what you can do to find out what your dreams are and how you can pursue them so you can live this life for you, period. In this video, I'm gonna ask a lot of questions, and these are questions just for you to be personal with yourself and ask. And I'm really just trying to get your mind spinning. I'm trying to get you thinking. So we're gonna start first with, where did your dreams come from? What dream or goal are you really going after or are you really chasing right now? Think about it in your head and then think about where it came from. Like me, for example, my passion to do content, my passion to kind of just be an entertainer, you could say, where did that come from? It came from a combination of kind of just a desire I always had, me seeing something that I saw I would want to do, and then it feeling good whenever I would kind of role play in it when I was younger. That's where my dream came from. Where did your dream come from? Whatever you're chasing now, whatever it is, did it come from your parents? Did it come from social media? Did it come from the news? Did it come from a TV show? Where did your goal or dream come from? Whether you came into this world with that dream already or it's a dream that you took on later on in life, all of our dreams come from somewhere. It's really important to know where your dreams come from so you know who you're doing it for. Basically, it's like, okay, are you doing this because you saw it on TV? Are you doing this because your parents told you you should do it? Or are you doing this because you actually want to do it? You know, just because someone tells you or just because you get a dream from somewhere doesn't mean it's wrong or bad. Like, that's totally fine. It's just boiling down who it's for. Is it for you or is it to please other people? And especially if you had the dream since you were younger, chances are it's coming from a really deep down place. Chances are it's coming from a place that is really authentic to you. And the reason is that when we're younger, we are not as conditioned by society. Think about how much more free you were when you were younger. You didn't care what people thought about you as much. And I'm talking like when you were a kid. You didn't really care much what people thought about you. You kind of were just yourself. Any passions that you had, for the most part, probably came from you. If you like to read or draw or sing or dance, those things you probably just naturally did and you enjoyed it, you liked it. So the reason it's important to kind of go back to see where your dreams came from is that when you're younger, a lot of what you do is coming from a natural place and you're not doing things because you feel like you have to. You don't really feel the pressures of society when you're a kid. You're just being yourself. Now, another question you got to ask yourself is, how were your dreams when you were younger perceived by other people? How were the dreams that you had, the passions that you had, perceived by those around you, like your caregivers? Like, I totally forgot to plug in my mic. You guys, I got new equipment. I have like a new mic up here and I totally forgot to plug it in. I don't know if I should do it now, but does that make sense for me to plug it in now, or should I should probably just leave it? I'm so annoyed. Okay, my next video will have the mic, I promise. So how are your dreams perceived by others? Like, for example, I said I wanted to be a pop star, I wanted to be an entertainer. That dream was very quickly shut down by my parents. And again, don't these things happened years ago. Try not to hold grudges against people. The point isn't to hold a grudge. We're just looking for the facts here. Where did it come from? How did people respond to it? We're looking for facts. We're not looking for someone to blame. My dream, for example, I know, like I said, where it came from. How was it perceived? Negatively. It was perceived very negatively when I was younger. And that made me be like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's not a realistic thing. It made me think when I was younger, oh, only certain people can do things like that. Like, only certain people can be a Beyonce, or only certain people can be on stage, only certain kinds of people, and I'm not that kind of person. A lot of times the dreams we have, it's been done before. It's not like it's never been done. A lot of times it's been done, but it's just not quote unquote practical. So what this makes you think, actually, especially when you're younger, because when you're younger, you're not thinking like a grown adult. You're just taking things more so black and white, right? So when you're younger and your dreams are perceived negatively, you internalize that as, okay, well, it must be something with me, because you see the dream as possible. You see that others have done it, but now it's being shown to you that you specifically can't, or you specifically should not pursue that specific dream. Does that make sense? So when your dreams are perceived negatively when you're younger, it can make you internalize the fact that maybe you can't do it, or you're not good enough, or you're not talented enough, right? A lot of people who you see, like the Beyoncés, like these people, they had a dream, maybe their parents had a dream. However it was, there was a dream that was encouraged. There was a dream where people said, you can do that, you can be on stage, you got this. And it made it in their heads that, okay, I can do this. This is possible for me. I do got this. And for some people, they have that negative reinforcement and they still make it, but it is harder. You see what I mean? When it is harder when your dreams are perceived negatively when you're younger, for you to take them and do something with them. But if you still have that desire in your heart to this day as an adult, the same desire that you had when you were younger, it's really worth exploring, and it's really worth looking into and experimenting and trying in your adult life, and not letting society make you suppress it. You know, it's really worth exploring, and I think it's really worth expressing and sharing with the world. The thing is, we live in a different world than our parents. Like, there's more money circulating in the world now. There's more job opportunities circulating in the world now than there were when our parents were around, or when they were growing up. So we live in a completely different world where there is more money, therefore there are more problems. When there's more money and there's more problems, it means there needs to be more solutions, which means your gift or your talent could probably be a solution for someone. For example, think about life coaches, relationship coaches. Like 20 years ago, it probably wasn't as lucrative as it is now, but now you could be a whole life coach and have a career based off that. You know what I mean? Like, once upon a time, your goal could have been like, my dream is just to help people. And you'd be like, I want to be a life coach. They'd be like, that's not realistic. Well, today it actually is realistic. If you look at the economy, that's a legit career. So don't take the conditions that you've heard from when you were younger, from peers, from the media. Don't take that and run with it now, because it might not be true. Like, honestly, there's so many careers now that were not around 20 years ago, that you can actually turn whatever your goal, your gift, your talent is that you may have always had into a career, despite it maybe having been difficult a few decades ago. But yeah, your unique gift could be a solution to a problem that we currently have in this world. So I'm telling you, don't bury those gifts down. Remember them and encourage them, embrace them, love them, because your gift could very well be the solution for some problem that we currently have in this world. I kind of went into my next question without really asking it, but the next question was, are there any childhood dreams that you have lost touch with or abandoned over the years? I kind of already got into that, but essentially, yeah, what is it that you may have lost touch with? What dreams may you have had since you were younger that you still kind of be like, hey, I actually still would be down to try that. Try it out now. See how you can fit it into your adult life and into your adult schedule, and see if it's makes sense. See if you like it. See if it's still fun. See if it brings you joy. See if it brings you fulfillment. If it does, it's probably meant to be there. And you obviously don't have to integrate these things. If you had a goal to be a doctor when you were younger and now you're like, child, I'm good on it, and you have no interest in pursuing that, that's totally fine. I'm not saying you have to pursue these things, but if you feel called to, if something in you is still saying, I always wanted to, or I really wish I could have, do it now. Explore it now. See how you can make it a reality now, because like I said, the world is shifting. There are so many things you can do now as a career that you probably have no idea about right now. Okay, so don't stifle those dreams because society told you to. And then you're probably like, okay, so how do I go about reconnecting with my dreams? How you can do this is meditation. You don't have to necessarily meditate. It really just requires reflection. It requires you kind of asking yourself these questions, asking yourself, what do I really want? If money wasn't a factor, what would I do? What would I want to do? If no one else's opinion mattered, what would I want to do? You know what I mean? Ask yourself those deep questions, and you'll be able to refine some of those things that are maybe dreams of yours now, or were dreams of yours when you were younger that you shoved down and stifled because they weren't socially acceptable or practical. And it's also really important to start by asking yourself why. Why do you want to connect with your dreams? Why do you want to follow this dream specifically? Why are you following the dreams that you're following now? It's so important to ask yourself why, because a lot of the things we do are externally motivated. A lot of the things we do are because we think we should do them. You know what I mean? You'll be surprised by how much we are influenced by our environment and by those around us, and how much we're really not in control as much as we think. And it's because a lot of us aren't very self-aware, and we're not doing enough self-reflection to ask ourselves these questions and to get in touch with ourselves on a deeper level. So ask yourself, why? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to be a content creator? For me, it's because I love talking. I love talking. I love expressing myself. I love giving people advice. I'm a very psychoanalytical person. Like, ask anyone in my life, I'm always psychoanalyzing. I'm always being like, look, this is why you did what you did. This is why he did what he did. So I really like doing this in my everyday life. So I'm like, hey, why don't I turn one of the things I enjoy doing into a career, into something that's bigger than me? You know what I mean? So for me, it comes from a place of wanting to help, wanting to inspire, wanting to uplift, and also wanting the freedom of having a career that doesn't feel like it weighs down on me, but it kind of like inspires me and lifts me up because I'm helping people. Ask yourself why you want to connect with yours. What's drawing you to do that? And then again, like I said, find a way you can reintegrate that passion into your current life. Let's say, for example, you want to do music. How can you incorporate music into your life? Maybe you can start taking music lessons once a week. Maybe you can start like writing a song a week. Maybe you can start writing a verse a day. Figure out a way you can incorporate that. See if it works, see if it mixes, see if it feels good. And if it does, then this is something that you could have in your life. And by the way, your dreams and passions don't have to be careers. I want to also make that specific. I think it's important to not try to capitalize or commodify everything. If you just like to bake and you just like to bake for you and your friends, let that be your passion and let that be what you do. But if you don't want to turn it into a career, don't. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something you just want to do for fun, let it just be for fun. But if it's something that you want to turn into a career, just know that that's also possible. And then lastly, you got to release the negativity that's associated with whatever dream that you have. For example, me, like I was saying, the dream that I had to be an entertainer, to be on stage. I was told that I can't do that. I shouldn't do that. That's not realistic. What that made me internalize is that I can't, like, it actually convinced me that I can't do it. It's a story that I've told myself. In my head, I'm like, well, I can't do it because it's not practical. But then it actually is, it's realistic because people have done it before. You see what I'm saying? So now it's time to release whatever negativity or whatever negative stories you've been told about that dream or passion. If you've been told it's not practical, you have to release that. You have to let go of the fact that it's not practical and say, you know what? It might not be common, but it is possible for me to do this. You have to start seeing this dream as possible and not something that only certain people can do, that only people that have a certain life can do. You have to kind of recondition your mind to see your dream and your passion as something that's possible for you. And most importantly, remember that your dreams and goals do not need the validation of others. Your dreams and goals are personal to you. Don't do things just because you want others to approve of it, and don't not do things just because people don't approve of it. You see what I'm saying? Your goals and dreams do not require outside validation. All they need is validation from you, watering and nurturing from you, and they can turn into whatever you want them to be. If you want this to just be a passion and something that you do that feeds your soul once a week, a few times a week, let it be that. If this is something you want to turn into a career and this is something you see your whole life transforming for and like being a huge change, then water it and nurture it so that it can become that. But most importantly, don't look for that outside validation, and reprogram your mind to seeing whatever dream that you have is possible for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this. I really hope it was helpful for you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Comment down below any other topics you want me to talk about. And I hope after this, you decide to go after what you want. You decide to chase your dream. And most importantly, claim your power. My #1 mission statement is claim your power. It's the power that you were born with. It's the power you came into this world with. It's your purpose. It's your mission. It's what you're meant to do. It's your choice. Claim your power. Follow your dreams. Love your life. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.